New tonight, one Springfield man was arrested yesterday after police seized a loaded gun on Bancroft Street. Just before 1 a.m. Monday, police saw a car cross over the double yellow lines on Main Street before turning onto Bancroft. The car stopped on Bancroft where the driver, 33-year-old Freddie Rivera, began to drive in reverse, and he hit the officer's unmarked cruiser. As police were talking to Rivera, they saw a gun inside his car and an open beer in the cup holder. Rivera attempted to run away, but police were able to catch him. He was then placed under arrest and is now facing several charges.